Hi friends, welcome to part 2 of my Christmas/winter themed journal making process. If you missed part 1, I will have that linked down below, as well as the full flip through of this journal, which I am basing this one off of. I'll also link some playlists that you might be interested in. I usually do for all of my videos, so definitely check the description box. But today we're just going to be sewing in the signatures and covering up the spine here. And I did show these paper pads in my last video as well, but these were the ones that I used for my signatures. So let's go ahead and come back to this journal here. And we've already created our cover together in my last video. And here are my 4 signatures. And I did go ahead and cover them up too, because these were single-sided papers. But I think I'll do like a quick flip through at the end of this video. So first, we're just going to jump right in and sew these into our journal here. So I'm going to set my signatures to the side for now. And I'm going to grab just a scrap little strip here. That's the exact size of my spine. So mine was 2.5 inches by 9.25 tall. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this paper and fold it in half. And then I'm going to open it up and I'm going to take the top part and fold it down just to that middle line that we've just created. And I'll do the same for the bottom, just bring that up to the middle line. Just like that, and then I'm going to fold it in half this way as well. And this will just help be my guide as to where I need to poke my holes to sew in my signatures. And I do have to credit or give a shout out to Jessica over at Paper Terrace because I learned this method from her initially. So this is what we have so far. And I'm just going to mark the intersections here of my lines just right in the middle. So there's going to be one here. I'm just going to do a little dot, one here, and then one there. And those will help me to create my holes in my signatures. But now I'm just going to create 2 more little spots over here and then over here. And those will be where I'm going to poke my holes into my spine. So for those, I kind of just eyeball it. So I'm just going to place my first 2 marks. Maybe about here. So at least we have this line so that they'll all be in the same line pretty much. But I'll kind of just eyeball it and draw X's. So just ignoring this middle part here, the X's are going to be where my signatures go. And then I'll kind of just eyeball it, go down to my next little fold here, and then make some more X's, like so. Because I just am doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I will just roughly mark my spots there with the X's, and that's going to be my guide. I'm also going to just label the top as top. And then I'm going to grab a paper clip or just any kind of clip. I guess this binder clip. And I'm just going to stick one at the top here just to hold this sheet in place. And I will stick one at the bottom. And then I'm going to grab my awl here, which is just this little tool to poke my holes. And again, I just have 4 signatures, so I'm just poking holes where my X's are, not where my little dots are. So I'm just going to go ahead and follow my rough guideline here. And I'll move down, do the next row. Let me just turn this upside down now and do the next, or the last row here. Okay, so that is all set. Let me turn it to the outside. I'm trying to get you to see it a little bit better, but I have basically 3 little rows here with my 4 holes for my 4 signatures. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my first signature, and I'm just going to make sure that all of my pages here are in a position that I like. So I'll just go through and regroup them. I'll just take this binder clip and clip those together. And then I'm going to take my little guide here, just fold it in half that long way. And then this is where I'm going to poke my holes through these little dots that I made right down the middle. So I'll just open my signature to the center, pop this right in the center. Make sure you have like an even amount of overhang on either end here as well. And then just use your guide to poke your holes through your signatures. So there's the first one, the middle one, and then the bottom one here. All right, then I'm going to grab some binding thread, and I just measure about 2.5 times the height of my signature. So here we have like 1, 2, and a half, sort of. Cut that off, and then I'm going to grab my needle here and just thread this through. And then I'll just start sewing in all my signatures this way. So let me bring back my journal here. And I'm going to start in the middle. So start with your middle hole of your signature. And then you're going to put it through the middle hole here of your spine. So obviously you just want to go to this first set here. We'll pull that through. Then we're going to go through the top hole of the spine. And then the top hole of our signature. I don't know why I'm doing this left-handed. I'm not left-handed. So let me just try to get this through the hole here. Sometimes I go back in with my awl and kind of just poke through the hole again, just to really get that open. All right, and then I'll pull this through. This paper is so busy too, so you can't really see, but now we're going to go down to the last hole, the bottom hole here of our signature. Go all the way through and then go through the last hole at the bottom of our spine here. And then we'll just go back in through the middle. And through the middle hole as well of our signature. And pull that through. Okay. And so one end of the string you want on the left, the other end you want on the right. So I'll kind of just pull gently and then just make sure that there's no excess on the sides here or any loose bits on the outside as well. And then I'll just do a double knot. Tie these two ends together. And that's how I sew in my signatures. And then I just cut off all this excess. But if you want to add charms or beads here, that would be super cute as well. But I'm just going to cut them off like that. And I'm pretty much going to do that same exact process for the rest of my signatures. So here's my second one. And I'll probably fast forward through this. Okay, so that is all my signatures sewn in. This is what it looks like from the outside, and because I wanted it to be like a hidden spine, I'm just going to cover up my spine now. So I'm going to just grab a fabric scrap here that I had in my stash, and that's just going to cover up my whole entire spine. Now I am going to kind of cut this down a bit. So I do want to cut off the edging here. So I'm going to start there. Just cut that off a little bit. And then I'm going to just kind of eyeball it and wrap it around my spine. I do want it to go over my cover just a little bit. And so I'll probably cut it about here. So starting down here, I'm just going to cut off this end. All right, so that should be good. And then I'm just going to cut off the top and the bottom ends here as well. And I'll kind of just use the height of my journal as a guide for that. So I'll cut there probably, and then right here. just getting like a rough shape. Like so. And it really doesn't have to be perfect, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear the edges here a little bit, kind of like that. So it's got a little bit of fraying, but not too much. All right, so once I have my fabric as frayed as I want it, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that to my spine. So this is kind of what it ends up looking like. And I'll just grab my glue here. And just pop some glue all over my spine. Spread that out a bit. And then, because I did want to bring it over to my covers, I will also add some glue just to the edges here, and to this one in the back. And then I'm just going to take my fabric and put that right onto the spine. And wrap it around like that. And of course, just let that dry. And so with my spine, you can kind of see there's still some overhang here from the fabric on both ends, and that's kind of how I want it to be. So I just leave it like that. And then, whoops, you could simply just leave the fabric by itself on the spine, or I like to grab some trim since I have so much of it. So I'll grab this one probably, and I'm just going to put that right over top of the fabric as well. So I'll kind of just eyeball this as well, using the fabric spine as my guide. Cut off a little piece there, and I'm going to cut two just to help cover up the whole entire spine. All right, so one of these I'll kind of just put in the center of my spine there, and then the other one as well, I'll just put right next to it. and then it'll sort of go over the edge there as well, and in the back. So let me just do that and glue those right over top. I think it might be easier if I just open this up to the middle, and then I can lay these out a little bit easier. All right, and then before everything dries, I'll just kind of close it back up and make sure everything is even. And add some more glue just along the edge here. Because this is going to kind of wrap around like that. And same thing on the back. All right, and that is going to be the spine all covered up. And that's probably going to be the end of part 2 here. So I think I'll just quickly show you my signature or signatures and everything that I covered up. This is a pocket, and then I did add some trim here and there as well. Pocket. But it's similar to my other Christmas journal. Got double pockets here, some coffee dyed paper, but just this one I feel like could be used for just winter in general, not just for Christmas. Got some side pockets here, double pockets. Love this little house there. There's a pocket. This is a big side pocket. So I tried to just keep some pages blank, I guess, or have some writing space at least. Side pocket there. Love this little penguin as well. This is the last signature, quickly. But if I have time to fill this up with ephemera and embellishments and do a bit more decorating, then I will definitely show you a final flip through of this one. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed seeing the process and how I made this one, at least. Very similar to my first Christmas junk journal. As always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more crafty fun and inspiration. and I will see you all very soon in my next one. Happy crafting and huge hugs!